On Easter Sunday, Kanye West brought his highly talked about Sunday service to the world platform at Coachella, where he led an ensemble in gospel and religiously based performances for nearly 2.5 hours. It was nothing short of incredible. While definitely beautiful, it's still astounding that Kanye West created enough anticipation to attract these crowds for a performance like this, especially at a festival like Coachella, where most attendees come to party. It was even bolder for Kanye to take a step back in the least Kanye move possible, and have the focus of the performance be the choir and their accompanying instrumentalists rather than himself. Few artists, maybe no others, that are culturally dominant enough to have their own Coachella installation would take this back seat. Sunday service takes place each week, usually as a private gathering for Kanye's friends and family. It should be noted that the incorporation of the choir is voluntary by West, because in attendance he has had great musical figures, including the likes of Kid Cudi and Chance the Rapper, whom outside of a verse or two have simply been present. This just goes to show that Kanye has gone out of his way to make Sunday service a sacred event that will not be used as a flex of his grandiose artistry. Through his commanding position of a keyboard, in which he is seen at each week of Sunday service, Kanye has created this beautifully raw promotion of spirituality. When talking about Kanye, he is known and renowned within many mediums, but usually his work in production, hip-hop, and fashion are the most acclaimed. While Kanye's acclaim he has received from his work in these mediums is deserved, I feel as though this leaves some of his work to be glossed over, specifically his live performances. Although he led his first headlining tour in 2004 on the School Spirit Tour in support of the college dropout, Kanye's work in set design and live performance did not truly take off until his Watch the Throne tour with Jay-Z, where the pair performed much of their acts on cube-shaped stages. On the Yeezus tour, he elevated his game when he separated his performance into 5 acts in order to maintain a cohesive show, while incorporating his 50 feet in height mountain, a floating screen, and a dozen dancers who acted as biblical figures. I feel as though these mentioned biblical themes represented in this tour are important, because this incorporation of spirituality into live performance by West is Sunday service. With the St. Pablo tour, Kanye furthered himself as a challenger of the fundamentals of set design when he performed the entirety of the tour on a floating stage. His decision saw universal praise, with West even being celebrated by architectural outlets, with the Art Daily stating, quote, "The St. Pablo tour is a feat in terms of engineering, and few artists can say they've created a transcendent experience that goes beyond what is expected of a concert." Looking back to that note on the biblical themes of the Yeezus tour, Sunday service is honestly Kanye's own embodiment of spirituality, which he materialized by translating both his influences and prior work into the platform that has become. The first Sunday service occurred on January 6, 2019, and set the precedent for the format of the event, with the inclusion of the choir and the instrumentalists. In attendance were 070 Shake and Kid Cudi, who together performed the track Ghost Town off of Ye. Kanye's cousin and vocalist, Tony Williams, when explaining the purpose of Sunday service, said,
"The goal is to be able to communicate the message of love effectively."
From that point on, Kanye would lead Sunday service in order to do just that. Because of its weekly nature, I just want to go over the highlights, because from its creation, it can now be retrospectively viewed as a lead up to the Coachella date. From the February 24th service, this clip of Kanye leading the production of Sunday service was widely shared on r/Kanye and was a short-lived meme. Each week afterwards, Sunday service was held outdoors, possibly in preparation for the Coachella date, which was announced by Coachella on social media on April 1st. 3 weeks later, on April 21st, Kanye would take in what is now being dubbed the Mountain and lead his 2.5-hour performance, which is said to have been attended by a crowd of 50,000 according to a Coachella production source. As discussed earlier, the event was incredible and honestly turned itself into a cultural phenomenon from the audience on site and by word of mouth of the live stream. It was well received by both the media and fans. I feel as though because of its setting being the mountain, it allows for Kanye and the performance to be isolated from extravagance, and for the focus of the performance to be truly about living through the music. This positive isolation continued by West choosing to separate himself from attendees, which in my opinion is symbolic in the fact that Kanye was not seeking praise for the performance, but was just trying to spread authentic spirituality and life through the music. On another note, Kanye did see critics for his merchandising at Sunday service, for both the merchandise's high price and its existence itself. Critics and even some fans saw it disrespectful for West to market religion and spirituality for self-gain. Looking at Kanye's entire performance history as a whole, I feel as though this is always the type of performance that he's meant to put on. With his roots on his early albums being heavily spiritual and Christian, I think this is a return to form for Kanye. That's what a lot of people are branding this as. A return to form or a redemption arc of sorts that Kanye has created for himself in order to vindicate himself for the outrage he caused last year among the public for his comments on slavery and his support of Donald Trump. I accept this as the beginning of Kanye's redemption arc, because even if it is self-serving and self-created, it is still a beautiful, weekly performance that he's brought to the fans. I look forward to the continuation of Sunday service, and a transference of the gospel influence he has found onto his upcoming album Yandi and further projects.